Seeing Lu Ruyan, my eyes flickered as I thought to myself, oh no, she's probably going to borrow money again. Sure enough, Lu Ruyan walked up to me, reached out her hand, and said, Fang Yuan, lend me 500 yuan. The classmates around me also looked at me with strange expressions, probably thinking this simp would obediently hand over the money again. Lu Ruyan and I have been neighbors since childhood. As Ruyan grew up, she became more beautiful with a perfect figure, so I once wanted to catch the moon first being close to the water, and pursued her for a while. Unfortunately, simps never have a good ending. A punk named Ji Chang easily won Lu Ruyan over. I could also see that Ruyan preferred those bad boy types. But for someone from a well-educated family like me, I just wanted to ask, have you watched too many romance dramas? Thinking of himself as Chon Honam, but in reality, he's just a petty thief. Come to think of it, Brother Honam also seemed to be just a lackey of some big boss. From then on, I completely cut off my feelings for her. My past assistance was merely out of old friendship, making it hard to refuse. I didn't want to be used as her cash cow anymore. Besides, I was a bit annoyed, so I wanted to reject her once and for all so she wouldn't ask me for money again. Ruyan, we grew up together as childhood friends, and I've always treated you like a good sister. Over the past few months, you've borrowed no less than 3,000 yuan from me. Now, I don't even dare to go to the internet cafe anymore. I'm a loyal and righteous person, so I never brought up the fact that you haven't repaid a single dime. But the fact that you slept with someone else and still made me pay for the hotel room is truly too humiliating. How do you think others look at me? Don't I need some self-respect? Everyone will say, look at that guy, he's the one who always pays for his childhood friend's hotel room while she hooks up with another guy. Most importantly, you're always the one enjoying yourself, but you never think about this good older brother who always supports you, yet is still single and doesn't even have money for food or internet access. How do you think others will look at you? You are already. You are no longer my woman, shouldn't everyone in the community call you sister-in-law? Don't you want to save face? My cynical grumbling made the surrounding classmates burst into laughter, and at the same time, cleared up everyone's impression of me being Lu Ruyan's simp. Actually, I had stopped being a simp long ago, but I couldn't stop Lu Ruyan from making up rumors about me behind my back every single day. Lu Ruyan stared at me with wide eyes, thinking she knew me very well. Although my family is not extremely wealthy, we are definitely not just moderately well off, a few hundred yuan is certainly nothing to me. Therefore, she took it for granted that I would honestly hand over the money just like before, and she even secretly enjoyed how useful I, her simp, was to her. Subconsciously, this was also a kind of innate smugness of hers. So when she realized I was no longer willing to lend her money, she became extremely angry. Fang Yuan, what kind of madness is this? You aren't doing this because you like me, deliberately refusing to lend me money just to stop me, are you? As she spoke, she became more and more convinced that this was the case. A mocking smirk curled on her lips, and her eyes were filled with nothing but disdain. Sure enough, after she finished speaking, the surrounding classmates also thought it made some sense, since Ruyan was indeed good-looking. Thus, they all looked over eager to gossip. I felt I had to explain myself clearly, otherwise being seen as a submissive simp in a female-oriented novel world would be a total social death. Ruyan, for over 2 years since high school, apart from lending you money, I have never had any ambiguous actions or hints toward you. So I don't know why you got the impression that I am your simp. Even as neighbors, I have never gone to or from school with you. You used to love telling others that I had a crush on you. I was actually quite angry when I heard it, but I didn't want things to look ugly. So even though it affected my reputation, I chose to be a good guy and quietly endure it. You've asked me for money time and time again, and I didn't refuse out of our childhood friendship. But remember, you always said it was a loan, and I only lent it to you. Now that 3 months have passed, I should also look closely. You never intended to repay me, but took it for granted. You have seriously hurt my feelings as your childhood friend. I treated you as a friend, but you did not. So not only will I not lend it to you, but I also want to clarify something to everyone here. I have never thought of pursuing Lu Ruyan. She got together with Ji Chen shortly after starting high school. I wish them well and feel no resentment. My relationship with Lu Ruyan is merely that of neighbors. We were close when we were young only because children have no concept of gender differences. The previous rumors and speculations have caused me quite a bit of trouble, and I hope everyone can understand my situation. The surrounding classmates thought about it and realized that I am indeed usually a low-key person, and have never behaved inappropriately. My long-standing image as a desperate simp was entirely created by Lu Ruyan adding fuel to the fire. Everyone couldn't help but think, yes, Fang Yuan's words are logical and well-founded, that must be how it is. Isn't Ruyan being a bit too much? And her taste is really questionable, actually falling for a street thug. The noisy chatter made Lu Ruyan's chest heave violently. Angered, she raised her voice, drawing glances even from those outside the classroom. Fong Yuan. Did you throw away all our years of friendship to the dogs? I coldly replied. I said, I don't have money. And even if I did, I wouldn't lend it to you. You won't return it anyway. She glared back and demanded, Fong Yuan, what exactly do you mean by this? I was truly tired of her endless nagging. She acts like a boss just to borrow money. I sighed, ignoring her, and simply looked down at my book while waving my hand to tell her to get lost. Fine, if you don't want to lend it, then forget it. I'll find a way myself. But you'd better continue to cover for me tonight, or else I'll make you pay. After saying this, she didn't wait for my reply and stomped off in a rage. But this time I snapped. I wasn't going to take the blame anymore, so I yelled out immediately, get lost. You sleep with other men and expect me to take the fall? In your dreams. I didn't report you only because I couldn't be bothered. Clean up your own mess. Fong Yuan's voice was very loud. All right, Fong Yuan, I won't cover up for you anymore. Hearing this, the classmates inside and outside the room looked at Lu Ruyan mockingly and burst into laughter. The grand school beauty Ruyan was so embarrassed that she covered her face, blushing all over. The deskmate happily said, not bad, Fong Yuan. I always thought you were an honest and well-behaved guy. This time you've really made everyone see you in a new light. I apologize for my past impressions of you. What do you want to drink? My treat. Grab me a bottle of soda, please. I replied cheerfully and began chatting, fitting right in with the other classmates. In the evening, while I was reviewing at home, Lu Ruyan's mother suddenly called. Fong Yuan, Auntie heard that your grades have dropped quite a bit recently. She paused for a moment, seemingly trying to figure out how to bring it up tactfully. I know you asked Ruyan to tutor you, but look at the time, you should tell Ruyan to come back quickly. You two are grown up now, you can't be clingy with each other like when you were kids, you know? As expected, that bitch Ruyan didn't take my warning seriously at all. She once again used tutoring me as an excuse to go out. Moreover, her parents are in business and usually busy beyond belief, barely ever attending parent-teacher meetings. Even over the past 2 years, they've had little contact with neighbors, often just exchanging brief greetings before rushing off. So unless Ruyan said so, they had no idea that I was a top 3 straight A student in our grade. This led to her using the excuse of tutoring me every time she went out at night. Plus, since I did help cover up for her in the past, nothing had gone wrong so far. Ruyan always established a very well-behaved image in front of adults. She also knew how to act cute and coax people, making her highly favored by her elders. However, almost all of her bad temper was directed at me. Relying on the affection I once had for her, she manipulated me in every possible way. Even my own parents treated her better than they treated me. But looking back now, sigh, she really is a freaking genius at PUA. Forget it, it's not me who's suffering anyway. Aside from feeling pity for her parents, my only loss is that such a tender Chinese cabbage wasn't harvested by me earlier. But whatever, she has turned into pickled cabbage by now and I didn't want to, but anyway, I wasn't going to take the blame anymore. Auntie, is there some mistake? In my recent exams, I ranked in the top 3 of my grade, so I don't need Ruyan to tutor me. The other end of the line sneered, Fong Yuan, Ruyan said your grades have dropped drastically since high school. Otherwise, why would my Ruyan run to your house every day to tutor you? She has wasted so much study time tutoring you. When I called you a few times before, didn't you admit it yourself? Fong Yuan, you need to correct your habit of lying, or else it will only harm you when you enter society. In the future, I won't let Ruyan tutor you anymore. If she stays with you, she will be ruined sooner or later. She's not answering her phone either, get her back here quickly. Well, I had to clarify things again, and would probably get scolded. But who told me to help her lie before? I only had myself to blame. Auntie, you are in big business and have met all kinds of people. There were some things that were hard for me to say before, but now I want to confess to you very solemnly. Auntie, I have always been in the top 3 of my grade since high school. You've been busy this year and haven't chatted much with the neighbors, so you don't know. You can call Aunt Wang, Uncle Li, or anyone in our neighborhood who is familiar with our families to confirm if I am one of the top students in my grade. You can also ask my parents directly, if you are still willing to believe them. The reason I lied before about Ruyan coming to tutor me was because she asked me for help, saying she had an urgent matter. I only have a partial understanding of what it was. To avoid misleading you, I suggest you talk directly to Ruyan. If you don't believe me, you can also go to the school and ask. As an adult, I believe you understand that you cannot listen to just one side of a story, and that only by expanding your sources of information can you grasp the real situation. Lastly, Lu Ruyan and I are just classmates now. High school academic life is very busy, and I don't have much time to socialize with her. Although the relationship between our two families is still there, it is indeed not as close as before as we visit each other less. So I also hope you can understand some things as an outsider. It is hard to get involved in women's issues, and I didn't want to get dragged into their family drama. But the other side of the line immediately denied it. That's impossible. My Lu Ruyan has been obedient and sensible since childhood, how could she lie to me? Oh well, talking to women is indeed a bit exhausting. Fortunately, she didn't continue nagging. After all, she is an adult. After hanging up the phone, she probably rushed to find others to confirm the situation. However, after just 10 minutes or so, the front door of my house was suddenly knocked on violently. Luckily, I am a young man, and although my parents are away on a business trip, I am not afraid of trouble. I frowned and opened the door, and sure enough, it was Lu Ruyan's parents. Her mother's face was extremely ugly, and she immediately demanded, "Xiao Yan, where on earth are you hiding my Lu Ruyan? Why won't you let her answer the phone?" Her father, on the other hand, barged straight into the house, shouting loudly while searching around, "Ruyan, get out here right now." I understood their anxiety, and since they didn't mess up or break things and still showed some restraint, I just let them search by themselves. Meanwhile, I went to get my previous monthly exams and final report cards. Sure enough, after finding no one, they rushed back to stand in front of me. Her mother pleaded anxiously, "Xiao Yan, Auntie is worried to death. She is a young girl, not coming home so late at night and not answering her phone. Please help Auntie." Lu Ruyan's father was also standing anxiously beside her. He didn't say much, but just looked at me with earnest eyes, hoping that I could help. To be honest, I wanted to help, to tell them directly that Lu Ruyan had gone to a hotel, and let them search every hotel one by one. But knowing Lu Ruyan's temperament, she would probably get Huang Mao to corner me the very next day. But as I see it, even if I don't say anything more today, the fact that I didn't help her continue to lie is probably enough to make her hate me. "Uncle, Auntie, these are my previous exam papers and report cards. In case you don't believe me, please confirm it first. I am indeed in the top 3 of the grade, so I don't need any tutoring." They took the report card and glanced over it a few times. Sure enough, my grades far surpassed Lu Ruyan's, causing their faces to instantly turn extremely ugly. However, this time their anger was directed at Lu Ruyan. I really don't need Lu Ruyan's tutoring. Before, it was Ruyan who begged me to help cover for her, but my conscience couldn't take it anymore, so today I decided to confess everything to you. Then I really don't know what she is doing. Lu Ruyan and I haven't been as close as before for the past 2 years, and she doesn't like to hang out with me either. Maybe you should go back and wait a bit more, and have a good talk with her when she returns. Lu Ruyan's parents also felt they had been too rash and had a bad attitude before, so they couldn't say much and had to look elsewhere first. Later, when my parents came home, I told them everything that happened without holding anything back. My parents sighed after hearing it, feeling sorry that the Lu family had to deal with such a mess. However, as the saying goes, distant relatives are not as good as close neighbors. Without regular contact over the years, the affection naturally fades. After feeling sorry for them, they hurriedly told me not to associate with Lu Ruyan anymore. If I wanted to find a wife, I should get into a good university first. I understood my parents' intentions and naturally agreed. A harmonious family is the best environment for a child to grow up. Maybe Lu Ruyan wasn't stupid, she was just lacking love and care. The next day, while I was eating fried dough sticks at a breakfast stall near the school, I saw 2 people coming out from the corner. It was Ji Chen and his lackey. Ji Chen didn't see me and was showing off to his follower. The lackey chimed in, "Brother Chen is awesome, you even got the school beauty. I heard you went out again last night? And she paid for it." Ji Chen's voice was extremely smug, "Of course, otherwise you expect me to pay? That girl is just cheap, the better you treat her, the more she ignores you. You have to be like me, beat her when she needs beating, scold her when she needs scolding, and never give her a good face. Just smile occasionally, and she'll stick to you like a dog." The lackey immediately flattered him, "Brother Chen's methods are brilliant, truly brilliant. I don't respect anyone but you. I need to learn this so I can change women like changing clothes in the future." Ji Chen snorted, But to be clear, Lu Ruyan hasn't had her period for over 40 days. I almost thought she got pregnant, it scared the crap out of me." They had dropped out of school long ago, and they walked in another direction as they spoke. Hearing these words, I realized that whether they are playboys or gold diggers, their manipulative methods are indeed extraordinary. A normal person like me still needs to stay clear-headed to prevent any schemes. As for studying, I'm not some playboy anyway. When I arrived at the classroom, Lu Ruyan walked over in a huff. With a loud bang, she slapped my desk violently. However, I was already mentally prepared. Isn't this just a typical female protagonist novel attack? Let the battle begin. Fong Yuan, how could you tell on me to my parents? Who gave you the nerve? Isn't it just because you like me and want to force me to break up? How can you be so shameless? As expected, she used this trick of turning the tables on me. As the defending party here, I absolutely must not respond according to her train of thought. Doing so would only drag me into her rhythm, allowing her to easily defeat me in her comfort zone. Classmates, I clearly stated yesterday that Lu Ruyan and I are just classmates and neighbors, and I have never shown any ambiguity toward her. Everyone can testify to this, in fact, except when borrowing money, I barely even talk to her. As for borrowing money, I was also extremely helpless. I generously helped her out for the sake of our childhood friendship, but it only fueled the debtor's arrogance. I can only say this is a hard-learned lesson for me. Lu Ruyan, I really don't understand you. Why do you always think I like you? You hang out with bad crowds every day. To be honest, I've always found you quite disgusting, I just didn't say it to your face to spare your feelings. Yet here you are, constantly blabbering about me liking you. It honestly makes me want to throw up. I'm not crazy, why would I look for a loose girl to be my girlfriend? As for the so-called telling on you, you stayed out all night, ignored phone calls, and most importantly, lied to your parents saying you were tutoring me. Do I even need your tutoring? Your parents rushed to my house trying to beat me up, thinking I was clinging to you. And after all that, you still expect me to lie for you? Do you have no shame? I have never seen anyone so utterly thick-skinned and shameless. With my final shout, the classmates' looks toward Lu Ruyan changed as well. My deskmate Wang Xiaoban couldn't help but stand up. Lu Ruyan, you are going too far. Fong Yuan is an honest person, it's bad enough that you always bully him. Now that you've messed around yourself, you still want to shift the blame onto someone else. Have you no shame? That's right, truly shameless. Some students who loved drama couldn't stand it any longer and started booing Lu Ruyan one after another. The last bit of Lu Ruyan's reputation was completely ruined. From now on, she could only be seen as a loose woman who happened to have a bit of looks. Lu Ruyan's lungs were about to burst with anger. Shut up, all of you. She hated it most when others brought up her relationship with Huang Mao. She felt she was just in a free relationship, and a very cool one at that. But she didn't realize that this was the honors class of the 12th grade. At most, people only found young and dangerous films cool back in elementary school, but now they just found it ridiculous. Who could roleplay with her so intensely? Most people fell silent after her shout, but there were always a few who weren't afraid of her and continued to boo. She turned around and glared fiercely at me. Because in her imagination, since I was her simp when we were kids, I would be her simp for life. I had to try my best to satisfy all her demands and never let her suffer even a little grievance. Fong Yuan, you are shameless. Just because you can't have me, you want to ruin me. Let me tell you, I won't let this slide. Having said that, she stormed off in a rage. You handed this opportunity to me yourself, so don't blame me for showing no mercy and driving you into a corner. I resolutely walked up to the podium and told everyone about her dating the street punks. I revealed how I helped her lie, covered up her trips to hotels, and even lent her money to go to hotels, disclosing everything completely. I also made it clear that I only helped out of helplessness, first, because it was hard to refuse, and second, because she used her thug boyfriend to threaten me. Following the principle of a fine vase shouldn't clash with cheap pottery, I helped her a few times. That was until I realized she took everything for granted, completely ignoring my disgust and annoyance toward these troubles. So, I decided, drawing a clear line, finally, I ask everyone that if you encounter similar rumors, please help me clarify them. After hearing my words, everyone was both in a gossiping mood and began to sympathize with me, the victim. They actively spread the matter, which could be seen as the first step in protecting my advantage in public opinion, preventing Lu Ruyan from continuing to bother me. However, Lu Ruyan still had one last card up her sleeve, her boyfriend, Huang Mao. This kind of disgusting person still had to be guarded against. Therefore, I approached my deskmate, Xiaoban. Xiaoban, this time I have offended Lu Ruyan. With her personality, she will definitely get her boyfriend Huang Mao to cause trouble for me. Isn't your older brother working in construction? Can you ask him to help me out a bit? Small matter, I will find my brother as soon as I get home. Xiaoban's brother was an adult after all, while Huang Mao was just a good-for-nothing punk. He couldn't easily take direct action against Huang Mao, but he sent one of his buddies to drive a small minivan, picking up Xiao Ban and me from school every day. Thanks to this, I could focus all my mind on studying. My academic performance improved another step, firmly holding the top spot with stable and rising scores. Sometimes after school, I would see Huang Mao passionately kissing Lu Ruyan in the alleyway. His hand slipped inside her shirt, and he put on a smug expression. If passers-by looked, they would push it further. If no one looked, they would change locations. Xiao Ban gave a contemptuous laugh. What a bunch of trash. Lu Ruyan really has heavy taste. All I had left for her was ridicule. However, ever since Lu Ruyan's lies were exposed last time, her parents had been disciplining her more and more strictly, making it hard for her to quiet her mind and focus on studying. But she had missed too much knowledge over the past 2 years, and her exams were still as disastrous as ever. Moreover, her mother was very smart and started coming to school to communicate with the teachers, so she could no longer hide it. When she ranked last in class once again, she was beaten severely by her furious mother. And Lu Ruyan, damn it, actually pushed me out as a shield once more. Muttering to himself, Uncle Zhang, a retired official, was considered the default representative of the neighborhood residents. He kindly asked Ruyan. How long has it been, child? About a month now. Fang Yuan forced you? You must think carefully before speaking, this is no small accusation. Yes, Fang Yuan forced me, and he even threatened me not to tell anyone. On what day did it happen? Woohoo, Grandpa Zhang, whenever I think about that day, my heart aches. Seeing her daughter crying, Lu Ruyan's mother also got angry. Uncle Zhang, what do you mean by that? Are you accusing Ruyan of lying? What decent girl would use her own innocence to lie about such a thing? On the contrary, Lu Ruyan's father seemed to have realized something. His expression turned ugly, and he remained silent. Xiao Lu, don't worry, this matter must be cleared up. Uncle Zhang said gently. At this stage, if it isn't made clear, Fang Yuan's reputation will be ruined, and his entire life will be over. So, we either ask clearly right here, or we can only call the police to handle it. Saying this, he looked towards our family. Exactly. This concerns my lifelong reputation. If it's not made clear, I will call the police. Isn't she claiming it's rape? That is a criminal offense, not a baseless accusation you can just throw around. My dad also chimed in. I just watched Lu Ruyan's performance with a cold expression. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan's mother's face turned cold, and she found it hard to refute. She could only shout at Lu Ruyan. Speak up. All you do is cry. Of course, Lu Ruyan didn't dare to speak. Currently, the two of us barely interact, and my daily routine is incredibly simple, just moving between 3 fixed locations. Coupled with the security cameras in the neighborhood, any date she made up would easily be debunked. At this moment, Lu Ruyan was probably regretting this stunt to death, but she had backed herself into a corner and could only cry to stall for time. The onlookers had already heard rumors about Lu Ruyan and the local thugs, so after hearing these few exchanges, they basically figured it out. She had likely gotten pregnant with a thug's child and wanted to frame me for it. Seeing her family's defensive attitude, the neighbors also began to change their stance. With a hint of ridicule and disdain, Lu Ruyan's father had probably realized it long ago. Now, Ruyan's mother likely figured it out as well. Her face turned deathly pale and extremely unsightly. She thought to herself that the entire family had suffered a total social death. Lost in her thoughts, she suddenly burst into loud tears. Lu Ruyan's father began to sigh in despair. Seeing the family in this state, the onlookers didn't know what else to say, and some even began to pity them. Putting themselves in their shoes, it was indeed quite pitiful. My dad stopped watching the drama and said, Old Lu, that boyfriend your Ruyan has been dating has been around for quite a while. But you two are always so busy that nobody ever sees you. It's just kid stuff, so it didn't feel right to call you up specifically, as if we were snitching. The onlookers chimed in, is that kid named Ji Chen? The son of old Ji from the auto repair shop on Blue Street. He dropped out of school early, dyed his hair yellow, rode a motorcycle, and fooled around all day. Yeah, indeed. The whole school basically knew about Ruyan and that kid. It's unbelievable that her parents didn't know and even came to find Fang Yuan. Hearing this, Ruyan's mother broke down even further and shrieked, since you all knew, why didn't anyone tell me? How could we tell you? You're so busy every day that no one ever sees you. Were we supposed to write an anonymous tip and slip it through your door crack? Honestly, you don't care about your own child, and when things go wrong, you blame others. Is anyone else supposed to raise your kid for you? The words of Ruyan's mother annoyed the older neighborhood women. Coupled with their distaste for Lu Ruyan getting pregnant early, they began buzzing with criticism. In contrast, Lu Ruyan's father, being a man after all, stepped forward and bowed first. "I'm sorry, everyone. Our family didn't clarify the situation and caused trouble for everyone, especially young Fong Yuan. I apologize. We failed to raise Ruyan properly, this is our fault, and we will reflect on it at home. As for Ruyan's child, we will follow up with Ji Chen's family to get answers. Let's disperse for today. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for bothering everyone." Seeing him admit his mistake, everyone didn't press further, since Lu Ruyan's father was generally quite sensible. He bowed and apologized to my dad once more, then took out 5,000 yuan from his bag and stuffed it into my hand. "Fong Yuan, I'm sorry. This money might not be enough to compensate you, but please take it so I can feel a bit better." I didn't refuse. Watching their family leave in a gloomy atmosphere, the crowd also dispersed as the excitement died down. However, they quickly formed small groups to gossip and digest this massive drama. Lu Ruyan's behavior tonight had completely ruined her reputation. I thought to myself, is she brainless? How could she throw around a rape accusation so carelessly? Isn't she afraid of me countersuing her for slander? These drama queens are truly terrifying, I must make sure to stay far away from her. The next day at school, as expected, the news of Lu Ruyan framing me had already spread everywhere. As soon as I entered the classroom, I heard Xiao Ban loudly discussing with others. Breaking news! I didn't expect the former pure school belle to actually get pregnant. Haha, you actually thought she was pure? My sharp eyes saw through her true nature long ago. Unbelievable that she fooled around with thugs and ended up pregnant. Even more unbelievable is that she actually tried to frame Fong Yuan. Having such a childhood friend is truly a curse for Fong Yuan. Cut it out, how can she even be called a childhood friend? Don't insult that word. Seeing me enter, Xiao Ban quickly called out to me. Fong Yuan, come here quickly and tell me about it. Using an exaggerated tone, I recounted the events, saying that yesterday was truly an eye-opener. I was just minding my own business at home when trouble came knocking. I definitely had to expose this bitch. Because of this incident, Lu Ruyan didn't show up to school until the college entrance exam. As for the baby, it was said that the negotiations with the Ji family did not go well. Ji Chen and his father didn't want the child at all. Even though their family was illiterate, they still looked down on a girl who got pregnant in high school, even though Ji Chen was the one who got her pregnant. Once again, I could finally focus all my energy on studying. Unfortunately, 2 months later, Lu Ruyan found me in the neighborhood. Fong Yuan, no matter what, you have to help me this time. Oh please, did she really think I would listen to her? I shouted to the neighborhood aunties who were watching the drama. Lu Ruyan, stop coming to me whenever something happens. I don't want to hear it, I'm about to take the college entrance exam. After saying that, I broke free from her grasp and ran away. With her pregnant belly, she couldn't chase after me, so she could only scream, "You damn simp. I am the woman you will never get. Even like this, you still ruin my reputation." But I didn't want to pay any attention to her, so I just kept running. She could only stare blankly at my departing figure. Later, I heard from others that Huang Mao had cheated on her and even called Lu Ruyan cheap right in front of everyone. Hearing this, I guessed Lu Ruyan wanted me to help her get revenge on Huang Mao that day. In my heart, I just wanted to say, hilarious, but why should I? I'm not a part of your play. Later, Empress Ruyan went mad with revenge. She pretended to please Huang Mao for a period of time. The next time they went into the small woods together, she held on to Huang Mao tightly and rolled down the hill with him. Unfortunately, except for his kidneys, Huang Mao's body was quite sturdy. The result of that fall was that Huang Mao only broke a few ribs. As for Lu Ruyan, not only did she break her bones, but she also had her uterus removed due to a miscarriage. When my college entrance exam results came out, I was ranked first in the city and was going to Tsinghua University. At this time, Lu Ruyan was still lying in the hospital. Her mother came to find me, speaking submissively that Ruyan insisted on seeing me one last time. To be honest, I kind of wanted to go see her, whether out of humanitarian reasons or curiosity. I went to the hospital that very day. Lu Ruyan lay on the bed, her face pale. When she saw me, she quickly lowered her eyes and said softly, "You're here?" "I'm here." I replied with an internet meme, but she didn't get it. She seemed to be brewing some emotions, but I felt absolutely nothing. This visit felt completely tasteless because she had brought all of this upon herself. Finally, she spoke, "I know I've wronged you, always taking advantage of the fact that you liked me. I wish you well, a journey with no turning back. I still remember when we were in middle school and I went to your house to play, I broke your uncle's watch. At that time, I was terrified and instinctively said you did it. You took a beating and never said it was actually me. Back then, not only did I not cherish it, but I even thought you were just a simp. It was me who didn't know how to cherish you, I'm sorry. Lu Ruyan, you are literally looking for me just to get back at me. So you wanted to tell me that you've always regarded me as a simp. Damn it, and here I was, feeling pretty good about myself. She looked up at me in surprise, not knowing how I had suddenly veered onto this topic. Fang Yuan, I used to think you were honest, quiet, and lacked charisma. But now I realize I was wrong, terribly wrong. You will definitely find a beautiful partner. As she spoke, she stopped avoiding my gaze, but tears welled up and streamed down her face. Looking at her still beautiful face, I sighed inwardly. Forget it, no matter what she does, as long as she keeps her figure in the future, it won't be hard for her to find an honest guy to settle down with. As for me, I'd better learn more anti-PUA techniques. Years later, I settled down and established my career in the imperial capital, becoming a legendary C9 hotshot. Meanwhile, Lu Ruyan reportedly became a socialite, using sharp tactics to cling to wealthy old men. She managed to wrap a big boss around her finger and lived quite well, moving her parents into a luxury mansion for retirement with plenty of servants. I even wondered if a hotshot like me actually had more money than her. As for Ji Chang, he took over his dad's auto repair shop and did quite well. Now in his middle age, he looked down on thugs more and more, regretting deeply that he hadn't studied hard back then. Therefore, he anonymously sponsored many impoverished students in mountain villages, and often bragged about the thank you letters they wrote to him. When asked why he remained anonymous, he laughed and said, I don't want those students to know their sponsor used to be a thug. I always tell them I also came from a village and even scored first place in the city during the college entrance exam.